The Assassin's Creed franchise has been all about the conflict between the Assassins and the Templars, beginning from AC1 with Altair up to Mirage, where we explore the story of Basim and the Hidden Ones. And we all know that the Hidden Ones became the Assassins somewhere along the AC timeline. But while I was pondering about this, as one does, a question came to mind. Are there some differences between the Hidden Ones and the Assassins? Because offhand, the two groups seems to be very similar, right? Just the names are different? Well, take into account that we have 8 mainline games that cover the Assassins and only about 2 games that included the Hidden Ones. And so it can be difficult to differentiate the two. We may not have enough information about the Hidden Ones to really make an accurate comparison or differentiation. Still, I want to talk about it and share some of my thoughts about the topic. Also, just a quick disclaimer, these are just my ramblings and they come from my limited and probably blurry knowledge of AC lore. So yeah, I guess let's start with their similarities. First is that both factions prefer to work in the dark, meaning they like stealth. Both the Assassins and the Hidden Ones train their agents in the art of subterfuge and assassinations. They are effective in infiltration and prefer to remain unseen, unless the mission and their objective require them to reveal themselves. This similarity is an obvious one since stealth has always been an integral part of the Assassin's Creed formula. Every mainline game, yes, including the RPGs, have some form of stealth, one way or another. Every Assassin and Hidden One protagonist have tools that help them remain unseen and take out enemies with speed and efficiency, making them deadly hitmen that lurk in the shadows. However, if we were to choose who are stealthier, Assassins or Hidden Ones, well, I might have to go with the Hidden Ones. Hear me out first. This is because the Hidden Ones were all about stealthy efficiency, meaning that they will do everything they can to remain stealthy while also completing an objective, such as assassinating someone. For example, the Hidden Ones have no problem using poison to eliminate enemies and their targets. This is shown in Mirage with Basim's Blow Dart, which has a poison variant. In contrast to this, Altair mentioned somewhere that poison is the coward's weapon. I think that there was also a rule in the Masyaf Brotherhood that tells them that they cannot use poison against their enemies. From this alone, the Assassins rid themselves of a very useful and sneaky tool. Of course, after the events in AC1, Altair abandons that idea, and even wrote in the Codex that poison should be an available tool for Assassins. This is why Ezio and the other protagonists are able to use poisoned weapons. Still, the Hidden Ones never prohibited poison, and I bet this can extend to other practices as well. The Assassins may have other rules that limit their ability to be effective infiltrators, thus making the Hidden Ones superior when it comes to stealth. The second similarity is their signature weapon, the Hidden Blade, and the rituals for initiation. Now this is another obvious one, especially since the Assassins came directly from the Hidden Ones. And so it would just make sense for the Hidden One rituals to be passed down to the Assassins. Also, of course, the Hidden Blade is something that will not disappear from the Assassins or the Hidden Ones. This is their preferred weapon and basically acts as identification. For instance, remember how Eivor and Cassandra stopped fighting once they saw that both of them were wearing Hidden Blades? So yeah, the Hidden Blade does act as sort of an ID for the Assassins. The third similarity is their fight against tyrants and oppressors. As we know, the Hidden Ones and the Assassins are always fighting against the Templars or the Order of the Ancients in some form or another. They try to help the innocents and make sure that the people on top do not abuse their power. They look at a situation and assess whether someone is being abusive or plotting a sinister agenda that aims to subjugate others. Both factions look over the common people, and most often are common people themselves who have been wronged by the Order. This gives them the motivation to join the Hidden Ones or the Assassins, and make it easier for them to see the Templars or the Order as the bad guys and the enemies, which is often true. Some of the best examples of these are Ezio and Basim. Ezio saw his family die and eventually found out that it was because of some sort of Templar conspiracy. While it did take more than a couple of years for him to understand that, it was a major factor. For Basim, he did want to join the Hidden Ones early on, but got the full motivation to really become one of them after they massacred his friends. I mean, Basim was also responsible for all that, but hey, killing them was a bit too far considering they had no idea of what happened in the palace. The last similarity that I could think of is their fashion choice, both like hoods. Bayek, one of the founders of the Hidden Ones, did love his hood and we were able to turn it on and off in Origins. Then by the ending cutscene of the game, we did see the first of the Hidden Ones attack an enemy post and they were all wearing hoods. And so I guess similar to the Hidden One rituals that were passed down to the assassins, wearing hoods were also inherited, which is understandable since hoods can easily mask one's identity and they are cool to wear. Still, as time went by, culture and fashion changed, which should have eventually made wearing hoods more suspicious than they were. But I guess we can just attribute that to Assassin's Creed being a game. Next, let's talk about the differences between the Hidden Ones and the Assassins. Now, before we start with this part, I want to note that these are mostly differences between the Hidden Ones and the Levantine Assassins. Now, the reason for this is because after Altair's story, which was shown in Revelations, he basically remastered the Brotherhood. And through this, the differences between the Hidden Ones and the Assassins basically disappeared. What Altair did was basically a return to roots, with of course some upgrades like the hidden gun and stuff. And with that said, let's start with the first one. If you remember in AC1, the Assassins had their headquarters in the city of Masyaf. Their HQ was basically towering over the city and everyone knew about what was going on inside that place. So the existence of the Assassins were not secret and may have even placed them in a sort of higher status than the commoners. Since they were living in a large castle while the town folks were stuck in stone houses. Compare this in Mirage where Alamut was a big secret and you'd have to cross a whole desert just to get in. While some people do think that a secret organization like the Hidden One exists, they are not 100% sure. They just heard it through rumors and have really no way to validate the stories. The only individuals who know about the existence of the Hidden Ones are their close allies, which was shown with Ali. So yeah, the Hidden Ones are seen as myths, as ghosts that people tell their kids about to make them behave. While the Assassins acted like a military group flying their banners and being seen as heroes by the people around them. The next distinction is actually an extension of the first one, which is how they assassinate. Let's talk first with how the Levantine Assassins do it. From the name itself, we all know that this means that they have the tendency to give up their life while doing an assassination. Of course, though in AC1 this was not the case. We do perform public assassinations in broad daylight and a lot of people do see it. However, Altair does not allow himself to be caught. We always successfully escape despite the city alarms going off non-stop. But yeah, the gist is, the assassinations are public. They do try to be stealthy before the act, but when they perform the kill, the more people see the assassination, the better. Simply because they're trying to send a public message. Now for the Hidden Ones, it kinda is a mix really of public and subtle assassinations, at least based on Mirage. Because if I remember correctly, the Al Ghul assassination was very public with Basim leaving the body dangling. But in others like the Library assassination, you are basically a ghost who gets in and out of the place unseen. The Hidden Ones do not really want to die with the target, unlike in the Levantine approach. Their kills or assassinations are not the message but simply a means to their desired ends. For instance, in the Al-Mardik War mission, Basim lets Ali take credit for the kill since it will help him rally the rebels, and in extension help the Hidden Ones. So yeah, if you think about it, the Hidden Ones are most likely to ghost past levels and complete missions without alerting guards and other enemies, while the Assassins have the tendency to raise alarms and probably fight their way out of situations. Still remember, after Altair's Brotherhood remaster, the Assassins stopped with the Levantine approach, and so preceding Assassins like Ezio and Arno became more stealthy, and thank God they don't kill themselves when on a mission. Lastly, a significant difference between the Hidden Ones and the Assassins is their stance on using poison. You see, if I'm not mistaken, the Levantine Assassins had a rule against using poison. I think Altair even says in AC1 that poison is a coward's tool. This is one of the reasons why we do not have poisoned weapons in AC1. Another reason is probably just the technology during that time. Still, it is a thing to consider. Alternatively, the Hidden Ones doesn't really have any prohibitions against the use of poisons. We can see this in Mirage with the poison variants of Basim's tools, meaning that the Hidden Ones can freely use various concoctions to aid in their operations. In Valhalla, I believe Haytham also rewards Eivor with poison-related abilities, so that is another proof that the Hidden Ones have no problem using poisons. But similar to the things I mentioned earlier, Altair eventually retconned this and allowed the assassins to utilize poisons in their operations. Also, another thing that was retconned by Altair was the cutting off the finger ritual. Basically, the Hidden Ones did this as well as the early assassins. But then Altair decided this was unnecessary and wrote it in the codex along with the other things. And so yeah, while the Hidden Ones and assassins have varying differences, Altair's old age realizations made them more similar than ever, with just a few upgrades in terms of technology and practicality.